Riffle. I'm your host, Grey Goose, and today we are diving into TONcoin, the cryptocurrency that refuses to die. Is it the future of money or just another crypto gimmick? Let's break it down. TONcoin is a cryptocurrency that started in 2018 with Telegram. It is fast, blazing fast. We are talking 2.5 billion transactions per second. That is way more than Bitcoin's 7 TPS. It's cheap, efficient, and works for payments like gaming and more. But in 2020, the US government stepped in and declared it illegal and fined Telegram $18.5 million for it. The project stopped momentarily, but the community brought it back. But not everyone agrees on its future. Some say it's a new way to handle money, while others say it's dangerous and needs rules. Today, we have three experts to debate on this. First, we have UK's finance watchdog from the FCA. She thinks TONcoin is too risky.
Hello everyone, I'm Pink Panther.
Next, we have someone who has worked as a risk manager at JP Morgan for 2 decades now. She says TONcoin needs to work with banks to survive.
Hiya, it's Brew.
Lastly, we have someone from the TON Foundation itself who believes TONcoin is the future.
Hi, I'm Blackbird.
This is a big debate. Is TONcoin a game changer, a scam, or something in between? Let's find out, starting with how TONcoin fits into the world of finance. All right, our first big question. How does TONcoin fit in the world of finance? To answer that, we need to understand TradFi and DeFi. Let's ask the experts. Blue Icon, can you tell us what TradFi is?
To put it simply, TradFi or traditional finance is the old school system. Banks, regulators, and all the rules we have known forever. It operates through centralized institutions where intermediaries facilitate transactions, manage risk, and uphold market integrity.
Blackbird, how do you think DeFi is different from TradFi?
Well, DeFi is a short for traditional finance, which is essentially banking without banks. It uses blockchain technology to let people send money or invest money directly without the need for middlemen. It puts people in charge of their own money.
So, where does TONcoin land? Is it a rebel in the DeFi world, or does it need TradFi to work?
In my opinion, TONcoin doesn't need traditional finance to function. You don't need a bank to send cash or make a deal. It's just you, the blockchain, and whoever you are paying. And it's fast and cheap too. As Gray already mentioned, TONcoin has the incredible ability to handle a staggering 2.5 million transactions every second. That is as fast as sending text message. TONcoin outpaces Bitcoin by a mile when it comes to speed. And it's not just talk, it's already working. Take the Orbit tap to pay. In 2025, you can use TONcoin to pay for stuff like coffee or groceries at 200 or 500 stores worldwide. You tap your phone and boom, it's done. No bank, no fees, just you and your money.
Wow, that's a bold claim. Paying for your coffee without a bank? Let's dig into that. How does Orbit work? Walk us through it.
Sure. Imagine you're at a coffee, order coffee, pull out your phone, then open tap to pay app. It links to your TONcoin wallet. You tap the phone on a little device at the counter like Apple Pay, and the payment goes straight to the store. It takes maybe 2 seconds and the store gets TONcoin instantly. No bank ever touches it. You are paying for your coffee directly with your crypto assets. Last year, 10 million people had TONcoin wallets, and more are using it daily for stuff like this.
Hi, that sounds slick. But Blue, you worked at JP Morgan, a giant in the traditional finance. Do you buy this? Can TONcoin really replace banks?
Well, not quite great. Banks are just about moving money. They are about trust and stability. They offer loans, keep your savings safe, and also follow the rules to protect people. In 2024, frogs moved about 2 trillion from crypto back to regular money, like dollar or euros, because they still need banks to buy the big stuff, like buying a house or paying taxes. Here is some perspective. Traditional finance is worth 300 trillion globally. DeFi is just about 80 billion in 2025. That is a tiny fraction, like a small boat next to a massive ship. So TONcoin might be fast, but it's not ready to take over. It still needs banks to connect to the everyday world.
But Blue, people doesn't trust banks anymore. Inflation hit 7% in 2024. Central banks couldn't tame it. TONcoin is different. It's growing fast. 10 million wallets last year, and Orbit is just the start. More stores are signing up because it's cheaper too. No bank fees or eating their profits. We are building a system where banks are not the middlemen anymore.
Hold on. Let's unpack that. Blackbird, you're saying TONcoin could cut out banks entirely, like some new kind of cash. Blue Icon, you're saying banks are still the backbone. Pink Panther, you're in charge of the regulations at the FCA. What's your take? Can TONcoin skip the banks and still survive?
Honestly, it's not that easy. Rules and regulations are in place for a good reason to prevent fraud and protect your money. In 2024, the European Union introduced MIC, a groundbreaking law that ensures cryptocurrencies must follow the same rules as traditional banks, like confirming the identity of users. If TONcoin chooses to overlook this, it risks facing shutdown. Let's talk about Binance for a minute. They ended up shelling out a staggering 4.3 billion in fines for bypassing these regulations. Remember, moving fast doesn't mean you're above the law.
But TONcoin is not like Binance. It's decentralized, no single company runs it. In fact, it's owned by people. The TON community, it runs on 50,000 computers worldwide, making it hard to control or shut down completely.
That may be the case, but governments still have the power to stifle it. Just think about it. If banks refuse to allow exchanges of TONcoin for traditional currency, it becomes effectively trapped. We saw this play out in Russia back in 2023 when a crypto ban left people unable to cash out. No matter how fast or innovative TONcoin may be, it loses its value if you can't actually use it in real world.
Exactly. Most people still buy cars or pay rent in dollars or euros. In 2024, 70% of crypto trade were peer-to-peer. Sure, but if the other 30% still need banks or exchange to cash out, TONcoin needs that bridge.
Wow, what a clash. Blackbird's betting on a bank-free future with TONcoin leading the charge. Blue Icon says banks are still king, while Pink Panther warns that the rules could be a serious roadblock for unregulated cryptocurrencies like TONcoin. We're just getting started, folks. Next, we'll tackle the risks. Think crime, think crashes. Stick around. We're now digging into risks involving TONcoin. Some people worry TONcoin could be used for crimes like money laundering and fraud. Let's find out if that's true. Pink Panther, from your experience, how do you assess the risks associated with TONcoin?
Let me be very clear. TONcoin needs heavy regulation. It's already being used for tax evasion, fraud, and illicit transaction. It's a black hole for accountability. If we let it run unchecked, criminals will use it to launder billions. Let's take Killnet, for example, a pro-Russian hacktivist group notorious for launching DDoS attack against NATO countries. They've already been caught using TONcoin for fundraising. Are they state-controlled? Maybe, maybe not, but their agenda aligns with Russia's, and this is exactly the kind of exploitation we should expect in a lawless crypto space. If cryptocurrency really wants to integrate into the world of legitimate finance, it has to adopt real financial rules. Think know your customer, fraud protection, and genuine customer recourse. Otherwise, it's just a gamble, not true finance. Moreover, it's not just cyber criminals. TONcoins has big risk because it's fast and hard to track, like superhighway for moving money. That speed is exactly why criminals love it. I remember there was a study conducted by Chain Analysis in 2023 which revealed that a staggering $20 billion were funneled into illegal activities such as concealing process from drug trafficking and scams. The design of TONcoin allows for a quick cash movements with minimal traceability and raising serious concerns. And there's more. TONcoin started with Telegram, the messaging app. In 2024, Telegram's founder Pavel Durov was arrested in France. Why? Because the app helped criminals like drug dealers talk without getting caught. TONcoin's tied to the world, so it's a big worry.
That's heavy accusation, $20 billion in crime. Can you give us an example of how this works for TONcoin?
Why not? Just picture this. Someone is selling forbidden items on the internet. They choose TONcoin as the payment method, and just like that, you're sending money to their wallet. In mere seconds, the transaction is complete and the identity of the seller remains a mystery. Unlike traditional banking where you'd need to show ID and a payment could be easily stopped, TONcoin skips all those hurdles because it doesn't have those checks. This is exactly what makes it so appealing and so incredibly risky.
Got it. So fast and secretive. Blackbird, do you agree with this? Can TONcoin become a crime tool?
Pink Panther is twisting the facts. Some cryptocurrencies get used for crime. But it's not the whole story. The same chain analysis report says that only 0.34% of all crypto transactions are illegal, less than 1%. Compare that to regular cash. United Nations says 100 billion US dollars in cash is used for drugs every year, and no one can track it. TONcoin's blockchain is different. Every payment is recorded for everyone to see. That makes it harder for criminals to hide. And banks, they are not clean either. HSBC, a huge bank, paid 1.9 billion in fines because they helped drugs cartels move 881 million. That's way more than TONcoin crime have ever seen.
But there's a difference, Blackbird. With banks, at least there's an oversight. Crypto wallets, no names, no IDs, no way to reverse a transaction. If a scammer drains your TONcoin wallet, who do you call? Ghostbusters? Moreover, Telegram's trouble isn't small. Durov's arrest shows that it's a place for illegal deals, and TONcoin could just be the payment side of that.
Hold on, HSBC didn't just break rules. They hide drug money for years. TONcoin had smaller problems, like a 50 million US dollars scam in 2024, but that is tiny compared to banks. And our blockchain is open. If someone scam you, you can see where the money went. Cash doesn't do that. As for Telegram, TONcoin is not tied to anyone. Since 2020, the community has owned and run crypto. Durov's arrest was about politics, not us.
Okay, so Pink Panther argues that TONcoin speed and anonymity makes it a risk, while Blackbird counters with bank scandals and blockchain transparency. Blue, who do you think has got the stronger case here?
They are both right in parts. Pink Panther is correct. Rules matter. Banks like HSBC mess up, but they got caught and punished because regulation exists. The UK FCA fined Barclays $783 million in 2022 for bad trading. They has to fix it. TONcoin doesn't have that. That 50 million scam last year, no one could stop it or help the victims because there were no boss to call. But Blackbird has a point too. TONcoin's blockchain show every move. 10 million wallets used in 2024, mostly for games and small trades, not crime. Cash is worse for hiding stuff. The problem is that, without clear regulation, TONcoin becomes an easy target for illegal activities.
Exactly that. Chain analysis found $14 billion in illegal crypto wallets in 2023. TONcoin speed could make the number grow. We need checks to stop it.
But checks slow everything down. TONcoin isn't a crime hub. 90% of our 2024 transactions were legitimate users, like for payments and gaming. You are scared of something you can't control.
Wow, this is intense. Pink Panther says TONcoin is a criminal's dream. Blackbird says banks are worse, and Blue Icon sees both sides. Next, we'll talk about keeping users safe. Stay with us on Finance Riffle. We've discussed TONcoin's role in finance and its risks. Now, let's look at another big issue, keeping users safe. How does TONcoin protect people's money, privacy, and security? Pink Panther, you work to protect consumers. Do you think TONcoin is safe?
In all truth, there is no safety net for consumers if they choose to invest in TONcoin. In 2022, a crypto exchange called FTX collapsed and people lost $2 billion. No one could help them because they were not kept in check by a governing body. With TONcoin, it's the same. Last year, a mistake in smart contract let hackers steal 10 million from users. There's no insurance or way to get the money back. People are on their own, and it's definitely not a good thing.
Damn, that sounds scary. Blackbird, how do you respond to that?
Pink Panther is right. But can you think of an asset that doesn't involve any sort of risk? TONcoin technology is advanced and transparent. Our system passes through thorough tests in 2023 with no problems. Compare that to banks like Equifax, a credit company that had a data breach in 2017, which exposed 147 million people's information. With TONcoin, users control their money and their data. No one else can touch it. That's real security.
But control doesn't help when you're hacked, does it? FTX users thought they were safe, but they lost everything. TONcoin's $10 million hack last year shows it's not perfect. And privacy? Hackers can steal your crypto and there's no way to reverse it.
Traditional banks also face significant security breaches and fraud. In 2019, a retired police sergeant lost her $87,000 life saving due to a fraudulent scheme. And Chase Bank refused to reimburse the victim because the unauthorized transactions were not reported within the required 30 days time frame. This incident underscores that both traditional banking system and cryptocurrencies have their own security challenges.
So Pink Panther says TONcoin lacks protection and Blackbird says it's safer than banks. Blue Icon, you've worked in risk management, haven't you? What's your view on this?
I think both have good points. TONcoin's tech is impressive, but it's still new. Last year, TONcoin price dropped 30% in one day after some bad news. That scared people. Banks have rules to keep things stable. For example, the UK watchdog fines Goldman Sachs £48 million in 2023 for breaking rules. TONcoin doesn't have that oversight, but privacy is better with crypto banks always sharing your data.
Bitcoin price swing too, but it's still here. People are smart. They can handle it. TONcoin security is top-notch so far. We have had no big hacks on our main system.
That's true, but trust takes time. Banks have been around for centuries. TONcoin needs to prove itself. Rules could help with that.
Lasting long doesn't mean it's correct. Innovation leads human progress. Stop living in the past.
All right, so Pink Panther wants safety rules. Blackbird trusts the tech. And Blue Icon sees both sides. Next, we'll talk about the rules TONcoin might face. This is Finance Riffle. Don't go away. Welcome back to Finance Riffle. We're now going to talk about regulations for TONcoin. Governments all over the world are making laws for crypto. Pink, what do you think is going to happen to TONcoin?
I can't stress this enough. TONcoin needs to follow the rules or it will be in trouble. In 2024, the EU made a law called MICA. It says crypto companies must check who their users are like banks do. If TONcoin doesn't do this, it could be banned. TONcoin's fast growth, touching nearly $500 million in value in 2025, makes it an easy target.
So rules are coming. Blackbird, I'm curious, what's your take? Do you think TONcoin stands a chance of avoiding these regulations?
Regulations is inevitable, but enforcing it is another challenge. TONcoin operates on a decentralized network, making it difficult to shut down like traditional company. Look at Bitcoin. Despite bans and crackdowns, it continues to thrive. Government can regulate access points like exchange, but through decentralization means users will always find their ways to trade and transact outside traditional system. That is hard to control. China banned crypto in 2021, but it's still there. TONcoin will be fine.
But TONcoin can't hide forever. Just like I pointed out earlier, Binance thought they could avoid the rules, but they learned the hard way that negligence comes at a price. The government is keeping a close eye, and if TONcoin doesn't follow the law, banks will stop working with them. That's what happened in Russia after the 2023 ban. People couldn't cash out.
Banks play no role in transacting with TONcoin. As previously mentioned, Orbit's tap-to-pay network is growing without any assistance from TradFi. People can send TONcoin directly, plus our community strong 10 million wallets in 2024. We're building a new system, not begging for permission, please.
Blue Icon, you've seen how rules work in banking. What's your view?
Rules are coming, but they are tricky. Bitcoin survival shows how hard it is to shut down crypto. But TONcoin needs to be careful. If it wants to grow, it might need to follow some rules. Visa, a big payment company, started working with crypto in 2024 by following the law. TONcoin could do the same.
Exactly. If TONcoin wants to be big, it must play by the rules. Otherwise, it will be shut out. The SEC stopped it once in 2020. They won't hesitate to do it again.
They can try, but we are ready. Our community is global. Our tech is strong. We'll keep going without their rules.
We've dug deep into TONcoin's role in finance, risks, and future. Pink Panther says it's too risky and needs strict rules. Blue Icon argues and thinks it needs to work with banks to survive. Blackbird believes it's the future, fast, free, and unstoppable. Now it's your turn. Do you think TONcoin is the future? Should it be regulated or left alone? Who do you agree with? Pink Panther, Blue Icon, or Blackbird? Drop a comment, like, and subscribe. Tell us what you think. Thanks for joining us at the Finance Riffle. Stay curious, stay sharp, and always question the system.